is The Miller's Edge with Christian Miller, two-time national champion and team captain for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and former Carolina Panther, and his father, Corey Miller, the pastor of pain, a 9-year NFL veteran with the New York Giants and University of South Carolina Hall of Famer. This is The Miller's Edge.
And welcome into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Hope everybody's doing great. We're one day closer to kicking things off. Training camp does start up, I believe, the 30th. So we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer. So about a little less than a week from today, man, Alabama will kick off training camp again. NFL, pretty much, I think almost everybody has kicked off training camp. And football is pretty much back, right? You're going to start seeing all the training camp videos, especially the NFL at least. College, probably not as much, but seeing all the NFL training camp videos is always entertaining, right? I just know you always see the scuffles happening from the joint practices, all that stuff, man. Definitely been in a number of those joint practices. I know how all that goes. But we're about there, Chase. We're definitely getting close. So that's definitely exciting. In terms of what we've got for you today, I'll be honest, man. I had something really, really, really fun lined up for today. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do it, at least not right now. Maybe down the road we'll be able to set it up and get it approved, I should say. But we were supposed to have Ty Simpson join the show today. He was good with it. He was ready to rock and roll, and we were going to have him join us and talk the season coming up. You know, obviously we listened to him yesterday on that little preview. I found out what it was. I think that's like a marketing agency or a sports agency deal where they had that video of him talking and having a little message for, the fans and all that stuff. So anyway, I reached out and he was game, man. He was all for it and was ready to hop on. But, we talked with, media, the folks on, the football side of things. And I think right now they're trying to keep the quarterbacks, I guess, away from the media side of things right now, which, it's fine. They got rules. So we're going to try to get that set up down the line. Hopefully we can get it, we can figure something out. But shout out to Ty, Ty, man, because he was ready to jump on like that. I reached out yesterday and he was all good for it. He said, yeah, man, let's do it. But like I said, unfortunately, they got some rules right now, I guess. Quarterbacks, they want to keep those guys a little safe. But who knows? Maybe we'll be able to circle back in a couple weeks or figure something out. But I do know, I also talked with Bray Hubbard, and I think he should be good to go, and that should be Monday, I believe, though. So be on the lookout for that. You guys have been asking about a number of these guys, and you keep mentioning, especially those two. We keep hearing about Ty and Bray. A lot of our listeners love those two guys. So I wanted to reach out to them and get them on. I told you guys we're going to start getting more interviews going, more folks on here, and that's what we're doing. So Bray should be good to go on Monday, I believe. So stay on the lookout for that. But anyway, that was what we were going to do, but no worries. We're going to call an audible. We'll switch things up just a little bit. There's a number of things going on. We've been talking about the whole Jalen Hurts and Cam Newton saga and all that. And look, man, it's still kind of going. So we're going to circle back to it because, look, we're going to cover Alabama football. Don't worry. But as we are awaiting training camp, there's only so much news about that. So we got to find some other good topics. And this one's been heating up. Chase mentioned it, and Ricky actually shared it with us. Again, you guys can always share stuff with us at the Miller's Edge on X, and we'll get it. We'll take a look at it. We'll play it during the show. We'll react to it. We'll do all that stuff. But Cam Newton, he dropped his response, right? And again, going back, just to recap, Cam had his comments. He said he didn't feel that former Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts was a top 10 quarterback. We discussed it. We heard from Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark dropped a lot on Cam and on the whole debate. And we listened to that. We heard my dad's response. I responded, and now Cam Newton has responded, and he's brought some facts. So the video's a little long, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing, but we might just skip through it a little bit because it was pretty entertaining. So definitely want to hit on that. Some NIL news. I saw there's an article written that was talking about some of these figures that these guys, at least these high school guys, these 2026 guys, allegedly are slated to be receiving, I should say. And let's just say, man, I'll be honest, Chase, the more I'm starting to see this stuff come out, I'm starting to think that we really didn't advance like we thought we did with the new legislation. If I'm being completely honest with you, I just don't really know if we really got as far as I thought we might have. But anyway, I saw some numbers there, and I was like, "Huh, that's it's just interesting." Trying to figure out how we're even getting these numbers. Is the players right? The agents talking? I don't know, but allegedly there's some numbers put out. And then one other thing that came up. This is going to be an interesting day on the show. I'll just be honest. The whole Nick Saban talk. It started with Greg McElroy going on his show and saying from a trusted, reliable source, he heard the coach is coming back or could come back. Very good chance. Well, you've got another guy kind of stirring the pot a little bit, this time coming from Colin Cowherd. And he offered his thoughts on it, and he gave a little bit more of a detailed, I guess, analysis of what that would look like. So we might circle back and talk a little bit about that here as well. But per usual, if you guys got anything or you guys want to talk about anything in specific, let us know. 205-342-9904. We love taking your calls. Plus, you guys can always join us on the YouTube stream where you can be in the chat, drop all your stuff there. We can read it, discuss it, hang out here, and Facebook as well. Don't forget about that. I know a lot of you guys have Facebook. Enjoy using that. We are live on the Title 100.9 Facebook page as well, so you guys can always join us there. Watch the show, hang out, and all that good stuff. First, we got to take a time out. When we come back, we get rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Title 100.9, 1230, WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We'll be right back.
This is the story of the one.
Justin, what's up, man? Dwight, yes, sir, back. Arthur said, Cam went personal, but said nothing about Clark's range. We can't relate. Listen, though, I saw somebody say that like, oh, that explains because Cam is, that shows who he is. Kind of like what I was saying about FSU's quarterback. You keep hearing I. It just makes you just say like, look, man, this guy's not so much of a team guy, at least from a mentality standpoint. But to be fair, Cam was responding because he felt like they were attacking him on a personal level. So he was going off of a personal level, right? And he's just saying from an accolade standpoint, right? I mean, I hate when it gets to that point. But, I mean, like I told you guys, man, these players have egos. And I feel like when they feel threatened or attacked or somebody calls them out their name, they want to bring their receipts. And look, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, Cam, if you want to try to, go accolade for accolade with Cam, I mean, he's going to give you a run for it. So it comes out of the goat's mouth. I'm not believing anybody. Yeah, I still think it's cap. I don't see anything happening with the coach, but all these people keep adding opinions. Oh, dang. Mike just shared with us a picture of him with Hulk Hogan. I forgot he did tell us, or show. I think he sent us this one time. Damn, man. At least you got to meet him. And I know he's a very controversial person, man. Trust me. I mean, there's no debate in that. But in terms of him as a wrestler in the ring and all that stuff, I mean, there's no denying. I mean, the dude was a pioneer for wrestling. I mean, arguably, one of the most, if not the most iconic wrestlers of all time. Dang, yeah, it is sad news for sure. And I know it's going to be a very controversial day. I mean, because look, even the last couple of times he came out, I forgot what was it? What was he at? Chase, where was he at last? Like the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix or something. I mean, he got booed out the gym. And again, I mean, he's done some pretty stupid things. I mean, definitely understand that, but still, at the end of the day, I mean, what he meant to the wrestling world in terms of that side of things, definitely. I mean, there's no debating that. Came at some good takes, but he went left on that one. It was just interesting. It's like I told you guys where he was coming from, and it was strictly off of as the player himself, because he kept mentioning that. He's not faulting Jalen for being in that system that doesn't necessarily require him to do that. But then it's like he would start making some points, and then he kind of, I don't know, come back and
That's
I
ZipRecruiter.com.
mean, but to be fair, he got a good point, though. I mean, look, he's got people talking and debating.
Flash
So
free. Never miss out on great candidates with
at
ZipRecruiter.
least he's doing something there.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. If you guys are, listeners of the show, you already know me and Chase are wrestling fans. We enjoy wrestling, WWE. Hell, I even watch some AEW, but got into it when I was younger. Took a couple years off. When I was a little bit older, then I got back into it, man. And I really enjoy it. It's something that I really look forward to each week. But that being said, some breaking news today on that side of things, the wrestling world. Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71, man. And I just was talking with the stream during the break. Look, obviously we know Hulk Hogan was very controversial, right? Definitely did some things he probably wish he could have gone back and done differently. Said a lot of things he probably shouldn't have said. Some would probably argue he didn't really seem very remorseful with that stuff. And look, I completely understand, why he was so controversial, especially later on. I not defending anything he said or did by any means, right? I want to be clear, but we'll say, in terms of wrestling, the industry itself, the dude, there's no denying the dude was a pioneer, one of the most iconic people in the, sport, you can call it, of all time, man. And literally people that don't even watch wrestling, I'm sure they've heard of Hulk Hogan, right? Seeing the little wave with the ear thing. Just kind of crazy news, man. Crazy news. But Chase, I did see that he was dealing with some health thing just a couple days ago. I feel like I read a report that he was like struggling to talk and stuff, or maybe it was something else. But I don't know. I saw that he was having some health issues, but I didn't know it was something so sudden like this. But yeah, so if we got any other wrestling listeners, man, I don't know if you guys have heard that, but Chase broke it to me before we came on air. Ephraim, I forgot. He's in the chat. He's a wrestling fan. Happened this morning, I believe. At least the news came out this morning, man. At the age of 71. And I believe someone mentioned maybe cardiac arrest, something like that. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. Hulk Hogan, for you guys that don't, keep up wrestling, Hulk Hogan would be like, Chase, who would you compare him to in like a different industry, man? Like, in football, I guess that's definitely apples to oranges, but I don't know. Who's a figure, Chase, that you feel like is just like a pioneer that's just like very big figure in another sport? I don't know. Maybe like a really, really, really famous basketball player, somebody that really paved, but I don't know. Chase, can you hear me? You got any ideas?
I would say like the NBA, it might be a stretch. But maybe someone like Larry Bird or like Magic Johnson. I guess even so, and still rest in peace. But Kobe Bryant, I think that when he passed away, I think the same impact per se. Even though like on off the court issues and stuff like that, but like what
in terms
Kobe
of their
did,
impact of the sport,
exactly. You see what I'm going with, but yeah, man, it's crazy. I thought it was fake. I thought I got centelled a little bit, but and then TMZ had brought it out, and then more and more credible sources. So, but yeah, it's just crazy, man.
And I swore I just saw something regarding maybe his health, and maybe I'm making that up, but I swore I just saw something that he wasn't in the best health. But man, it's just crazy, man. Crazy stuff. But anyway, man, that definitely was breaking news. And I know a lot of people that, keep up wrestling. Even if you don't, you definitely know who that is. And it's definitely just one of those things you just hate to hear because it's like, dang, that's a legend in terms of his field. But yeah, Ric Flair's still going strong, man. Ric Flair's still going strong. Now, obviously, he's had his own health stuff. As you can imagine, these wrestlers back in the day, they weren't being drug tested. I'd only imagine, they were probably taking all types of steroids and other things. obviously, jumping off of stuff, all that impact you're taking is not great for your body either. So you already know. I mean, they're probably going to have some stuff down the road. But anyway, rest in peace to a legend, Hulk Hogan. Controversial guy, but in terms of what he did for the industry, definitely no denying that, man. Definitely was a pioneer without a doubt. All right, let's do this. I know we got Mike on the phone line. So, matter of fact, just send us this picture. He got to meet Hulk Hogan. Hope you don't mind me showing that picture on the stream, but I guess he met him at a meet and greet thing. But Mike, welcome in, man.
Hey guys, what's going on? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I hope you don't mind. I put my phone screen on the live stream. Just wanted to show the listeners. And
Not at all.
Yeah, you got to meet him, man. Was that at a meet and greet?
So it was about 6 months ago in March. He was pushing his beers, his new beer brand that he was bringing out, his All American beer, and he was up. I know one of the guys that owns. It's called Beers of the World up in Pittsburgh, where your mom's from, and he was up there. He was up there pushing it. Him and Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart looked really bad. If I had if somebody were to give me a choice, I would have. And Jimmy Hart was like an old manager for the younger guys. But he looked really bad. But he looked okay. He was, but you never know. 71 for those guys in that era is pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the stuff. Knowing all the stuff, the steroids, things they probably were using, and the abuse that they were taking. I always tell people that aren't really into wrestling, man. They're like, "Oh, that's so fake." I'm like, listen, there's a difference between like scripted, like yes, the matches are scripted, and fake, meaning like, yeah, they're not necessarily full-fledged punching someone as hard as they can. They're trying to quote unquote protect their partner, right? Or the guy they're working with, the person that they're fighting. But at the same time, landing on your body, right? And you still, even if you take like a forearm to the head, you know what I mean? That's still an impact. You know what I mean? Falling on the mat from a few feet in the ground, having somebody jump on top of you, going through a table. Like, those people, they honestly have more injuries probably than football players half the time. Matter of fact, shout out to Andrew Sports Medicine, one of our sponsors. You can see them on the screen right there. They're one of the main groups that are in charge of working with all the wrestlers. So anytime like these big wrestlers get injured, they always fly to Birmingham and get checked out by those folks.
I know not to like underestimate what you guys did as football players, but these guys, like, there's no off season for wrestling. They seem like they're always traveling, either on a plane or working out or in a ring. So it's no wonder that their life cycles are so short from that. But rough week for us guys that grew up in the 80s. You got Ozzy, and then you got Hulk Hogan back to back, and then Theo Huxtable on Monday. It's just been a rough week, man, for everybody.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the Ozzy one. You're right. It's just two legends, man. Two legends for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, have you guys been keeping up on this stuff from Tennessee with this Boo Carter thing? The kid that they're trying to use like Travis Hunter.
So
he was gonna.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say I think I saw it. I didn't read too much into it. So if you have some details for me, tell me. I'll look it up now. But I saw that he's suing them.
I always enjoy a good dumpster fire in Tennessee, but I guess he was going to enter into the portal, and then he backed out. But now he's just kind of been ghosting the team lately, and I guess nobody kind of knows what's going on with him. So if anybody's got any insight, want to talk about that? I guess he was going to be a pretty a big part of their team this year, and now who knows? They got maybe another Nico situation on their hand. I really feel bad for these kids I don't know where they're getting their advice, stuff like that, but it's crazy.
Is it a dispute, Mike? Is there some type of dispute with like his NIL? Is that, because I think I saw something regarding that, but is that the case, or do you know why exactly he's sitting out?
I don't know. I guess they're trying to reach out to him, and he just hasn't been showing up to meetings and something. Like I said, if somebody's got anything else, I just so heard some quick blurbs from some guys that I know that UT fans. We got another Nico situation, it looks like, and I'm like, oh man. But
I'm reading up on it now. It definitely sounds kind of similar in terms of the voluntarily just missing stuff, not showing up. It says with less than a week to go before fall camp is underway, defensive back Boo Carter It's just up in the air if he's going to be with the team. You know, it's reported that he's missed various team activities this summer. I'm just trying to figure out what is causing him to do that. Is it like an NIL dispute? Is it, does he have some personal stuff going on? Allegedly, the team leaders confronted him because of his absences. I mean, it's a terrible look. I'll be honest with you. If you're, on a football team and you just have a guy not showing up like that, I mean, at least the groups that I've been a part of, I mean, that wouldn't fly. And you probably would be off the team quicker than you'd even realize. It sounds to me, I don't know what he's got going on, but it says Josh Heupel wants him back. The way he's going to get back, I think first is going to have to go to some teammates and sort of hash that out, blah, blah, blah. Somebody was talking about it, but I have no idea why he would just randomly do that. Unless
I will say this, Christian. I don't know much about the deal, but I do know that, like, when it comes to, like, this isn't like just like a young, I mean, he is a sophomore, up and coming junior, but he's not like just this freshman that this deal is going on. He was named to the preseason All SEC third team as a DB. He's Tennessee's probably second best DB behind Jared McCoy. So it's like kind of like with Nico, this isn't just like one of those guys that, we'll be fine without, it's just like a death piece. These guys are going to be playmakers on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely would be a big loss for sure. I'm just trying to figure out if it's NIL related. I mean, obviously Nico's situation, they claim it, at least for his side, claims it was more on the lines of, I guess, wanting to make sure they had the best situation for him. I do believe there probably is some truth to that now that Kirk Herbstreit saying, well, yeah, the dad was saying, oh, they need to invest in linemen and skill guys for Nico. Granted, it also probably was money driven as well. With this guy, I'm just curious because I'm reading all these reports and I don't really see anything regarding the reasoning. But if what you're explaining to me, Reed and Mike, is that, he's this great young player and all of a sudden he's missing things, one could only assume that it's probably along the lines of him having some type of, I don't know, he's not satisfied with his NIL situation. I mean, unless it's, maybe he's got beef with somebody like coach or something. I don't know. I really don't know, Mike.
It could be. I mean, I know that, some of the fans have been like they were planning on using him on both sides of the ball. But again, that's coming from the fan base, like a Travis Hunter situation. But maybe not in that strong of a capacity, but maybe he was sitting out because they're not letting him do that. I don't know.
Well, I'm reading and I just searched his name on Twitter, seeing if there's any reports or anything. And I mean, I don't really buy into these message board things, but somebody posted something from a Tennessee message board that says, Boo went out to California over the weekend. His family and Cooper have been in talks, but they haven't fired their current agent at this point. He has to do things, the little things better. He can't just go to Colorado at this juncture unless there's some deal. He isn't a grad transfer. So, I mean, does it sound like he's flirting with transferring? To me, that's just kind of crazy because number one, I mean, you can't just up and leave out of nowhere. It's not how it works right now. I mean, I guess unless he plans on sitting out. But to me, I don't know, man. Look, if you're a Tennessee fan, I would be frustrated. I mean, I don't see how you're not frustrated. I mean, this would be the second impact player that you potentially lose kind of out of nowhere, just all of a sudden. And that's not good. To me, that smells like there's some type of culture issue, the issues with the NIL, the collective, miscommunications. Sounds like they have a lot going on over there that they probably need to get cleaned up. I know Bama fans love that, right? But in terms of their program, man, I mean, that's a bad look. That's a bad look if you got your second top player doing that in the span of just a couple months.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, again, money thing. I hope the kid ends up somewhere. You like seeing Tennessee lose, but you don't like seeing kids, end up in a train wreck when they got so much, potential to look forward to going forward. So, it's like the whole Nico thing. Who knows if that's going to work out or not, but I don't know.
And it could be something where maybe he's got something personal going on. Look, that's the thing. Without me having any, real insight, man. I don't know. I hate to assume like, oh, it's probably NIL related because it could be. I mean, maybe he had a family thing come up. I genuinely don't know. I mean, I would assume that if that was the case, that would have been addressed. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, if a guy just chooses not to show up, I mean, I'll say this: they're not going to pay him, so it's not like he's just not showing up and he's still getting all the benefits. No. I mean, I do know that that's one thing. If he's not going to show up, they're cutting off any type of payment that he might have been receiving. So I don't know. To me, this is a very, very weird timing to go absent really right before training camp starts is really weird. I mean, that sounds like somebody, unless he's taking advice from somebody who's treating like it's the NFL. I mean, you see guys in the NFL do stuff like that, right? I mean, they hold out a training camp, but they're not necessarily going ghost. They just choose not to perform. They're at practice. If they're trying to get a new contract, they don't want to go out and practice because they feel like obviously, there's injury risk or something like that. But I don't know, man.
Pretty hush hush from his side. That's the whole, weird thing about it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely keep monitoring it though. But hey, the good news is, Mike, we don't have that problem here. Let me knock on some wood. Here at Alabama, look,
we don't. We didn't lose anybody. We didn't lose anybody. You got to bring me right back to the Alabama talk. I tried to get us talk about something else, and
hey, no, listen, we're not listening to none of that nonsense, brother. No, we'll talk about whatever. Listen, because here's the thing, like during this time of year, man. Like, I mean, there's only so much you can do. But don't worry, guys. I mean, for you guys that just eat, sleep, and breathe Alabama talk, we're about 6 days away from training camp. You're gonna have it's more Alabama content than you guys can even imagine. And for months and months.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And the last thing about I don't think anybody's surprised that, the Florida State quarterback doubled down on what he was saying. I don't know what Norvell's problem is. It just seems like, as a fan, ever since they got, in his opinion, left out of the playoff for Alabama 23 when they were undefeated, I don't think he's handled that situation very well. I'm sure you guys talked about it, and I don't think he's really handled the team very well. I mean, he whined and cried about it with his team to the point where nobody played in the bowl game 2 weeks later. He could have rallied those guys together. Hey, we could be only the third or fourth, I don't know, third or fourth undefeated team in Florida State history, and go out there and beat Georgia and show these guys they made a mistake, and maybe do like a UCF championship thing or something. Who knows? But instead they all bailed on him. They got hammered, worst bowls in history, and then it's just he hasn't been able to get it back. It would just spilled on over into 2020, 24. So I don't know, man. I don't think he handled that well. And again, I'm sure you guys have touched on it, but I'm not surprised that he's got somebody running their mouth and he's not stepping in and telling him to, hey, you know what? Let's beat him on the field, not in the media room.
Well, no, you make a great point, Mike. And I'll say this, man. I mean, I think this is a great example of why it is, imperative to establish, the right type of culture and to have a culture, right, with your team. And that goes from the top down to the team, the players themselves. Because I think what you're witnessing, like you look at Alabama, for example, right? I mean, you look at what Kalen DeBoer has done in terms of establishing that culture, between the players, right? I mean, we heard Ty talk about in that video yesterday, man. I mean, just how together this team is, and even how they were last year, right? Under the last couple of years, we've always had, really good, team culture. But then you bring in a new head coach, you're wondering, because I mean, again, the head coaches, they have to establish that. The people they bring in with them, they reinforce it. The coach establishes it, and then his support staff, they reinforce it, and then it has to trickle down to the players, and then you have to have the leaders on the team enforce that amongst each other. There's levels to it. But that is how a true culture is built and sustained. Sustained, because you got to sustain it, right? I would argue that Alabama has shown that they do it just as good, if not better, than anybody else, man. And you see that in, the way these guys talk. Anytime, these players have been speaking to the media, they're always, hyping each other up. They're to stay even when they are in a crowded position room, right? The receiver room, the DB room. I was expecting at least one guy from each of those rooms to probably put his name in the portal, given that, hey, they're really deep there, right? I mean, that's just the nature we live in. A lot of guys want to play. Some guys feel threatened like that. No, they didn't feel threatened like that. And if anything, that to me in this day and age, that is really impressive, man. extremely impressive. But yeah, I think that all. What I'm getting at is to make a long story short. I think that all goes back to culture, and you got to tip your hat to Kalen DeBoer. And I think if you're looking back on, because I know I think his name was Cowboy that called. He was talking about the hire. I think obviously we're still waiting on that process to hopefully get back to those championship days. But the good news is through 1 year of Kalen DeBoer and the new staff being here, you can without a doubt say, hey man, he knows what he's doing in terms of establishing a culture. And if you can do that, I mean, you're giving yourself the best chance possible to, accomplish all those other goals. It starts with that. And they're doing it better than anybody else right now. So we'll see with Florida State, though. I think Mike Norvell, I mean, he's kind of got a little bit of I wouldn't call it necessarily a circus, but he probably needs to kind of get those. It sounds like they're all kind of buying into it. He was buying into what his quarterback was saying. But I don't know if that's the right approach, man. But we'll see. We'll find out. About 5 weeks.
Very good.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
cool, everybody.
No
Good
doubt.
talking to you, man.
Appreciate you, Mike, as always. Good deal. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling. Ricky brought up a good point, talking about the Boo Carter thing. He said, well, didn't Bach pull the same thing before he demanded to be in the wide receiver room? I wouldn't say it's the same thing. I think it's different, but we can talk about that when we come back right here. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Hi, I'm Marty Lyons. When I come to Taco Casa, I always order the 2 and 2. 2 Sanchos.
Bach's issue was pre-planned to me, so not a surprise. It was a business move. Yeah, I'll say it's different though, because number one, we don't really know the exact reasoning for this guy. We don't know if it's a matter of him being, I don't know, not being content with how they're playing him. Issues with coaches. We don't know if it's NIL based. We don't know if it's just a personal matter. With Embache, even though he didn't necessarily come out and explain everything, I think that situation, was more of a matter of, I think he wanted to play on the other side of the football. You had people come in and saying, hey, not only will we give you that opportunity, we'll try to give you more money, this and that, and the third. You know what I mean? Like, I think that situation is a little bit different. Not to mention, I don't think like this guy, to me, it's different when I don't think Bach stopped showing up to anything. I think he just was debating on put his name in the portal. You know what I mean? So to me, even that alone is different. If a guy just is like, all right, I'm going to put my name in the portal, try to, search another opportunity, that's one thing versus like, all right, I'm just going to bail on my teammates, stop showing up, and just go from there. This says Boo Carter's status of the team is uncertain due to missed team activities. He was confronted by team leaders regarding his absences. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I do know if he's just not showing up like that, then he clearly he don't really care. He definitely doesn't care.
Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Hardy Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Hardy.
But I will say, like I mentioned earlier, man, they're going to hit those pockets. So it's not like he's just missing stuff and thinking he's just living it up. They definitely they're going to tax him for sure.
Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
Brian Harding Construction.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
Shout out to Brian Harding Construction, man. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts, your home of those premium arch sports designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it. Check them out. Midtown Village, where you can find them right here in Tuscaloosa. Trust me, you guys will not regret it. Try before you buy. Nothing to lose. Walk on in there. They'll show you how they work. You can test them out, kick back, relax. They'll do the whole process for you, the balance test. Plus, they got a number of other things. They got shoes in there, a lot of other, orthotic type socks and things that you can pair up with them, man, that just make your life a whole heck of a lot better, easier, and more stress-free, pain-free, because you're not worrying about all that nagging pain. So check out the Good Feet store, goodfeet.com. You can go to their website, find more information, and the nearest location to you. Again, that is a Good Feet store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. We're talking about the Boo Carter situation in Tennessee. Obviously, there's a mess there. But Ricky, brought up the question. You said, well, I mean, would you compare that pretty much to the Embache situation? And I would say no. I wouldn't, because on one hand, you got one guy who just stopped showing up to team activities. He goes ghost. They don't really know what his deal is, if he's going to be the team, if he's not. If anything, is more reminiscent of the Nico Iamaleava situation. I think with Embache, it was more of a matter of, I think he wanted to maybe have a little bit different of a role. You got a team come in. They're saying, hey, we'll let you have that role and pay you more money while, doing that role. You got people getting in your ear, your agency, or whatever the case may be. And I think he just put his name in the portal. They talked with him. He had some time to think about it. Ended up, taking his name back out of it. And that was that. There wasn't like the theatrics of just not showing up and all that stuff. I think it was more of the portal window was there. Situation came up where he kind of was maybe thinking about, maybe let's see how this could maybe work, blah, blah, blah. And then he's had time to think about it and made his decision. If anything, I mean, look, I hate to say it like that, but that's kind of how, like, the portal window's open, put your name in it. That's how it works. Skipping stuff, the portal window's not open. I mean, that's going about it totally wrong way. So I don't think it's the same at all. If anything, man, I'd be mad at the people that are in there, probing him like, hey, we'll give you this, we can give this opportunity. That's, to me, more of an issue. Like Ephraim says, it's more of like a pre-planned thing, if anything. So that's where the next question is, who was communicating with him ahead of time, right? Or his agent, family, whatever the case may be. Obviously that situation wasn't the best situation either, but in terms of comparing these, I feel like it's apples to oranges, respectfully, Ricky. But Ricky's follow-up says, but if Bach doesn't receive playing time like that this year in a loaded wide receiver room, do you think he will stay? I mean, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, really, he's really the only guy I can answer. But in terms of my thoughts, if I just had to give them, I mean, there's no telling. I mean, he would be going on year 3, his junior year next season. And you look at the wide receiver room, like after this year, Ryan Williams is coming back. I don't know if Jeremy Bernard has completely exhausted his eligibility after this season. I'd imagine he's moving on, though, regardless. I mean, I think he just strikes me as a guy that's probably going to move on after this year, even if he did have another year, which I think he might have one more, but I could be wrong. Horton expected to move on after this season, too. So, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the top 3 guys moving on. Even if he doesn't play a whole bunch this year, I feel like he might as well stick it out at this point, because at least he knows where he's at, and he probably will have a much bigger role going into the following year versus trying to transfer somewhere, start over with a new group. Even though, I mean, if that group is completely wiped out, I'm sure you probably would definitely get a pretty solid opportunity. But like I said, I don't know. You just never really know with these guys. But the fact that he stayed through this spring, right? Even after moving to that receiver room, they bring in Horton, and you see, how much depth there really is there. He stayed there. But I'll say this, even during the spring, being up there, I mean, as deep as that room was, I mean, he was getting a number of opportunities, right? I know when you look at it on paper, like, yes, I mean, Ryan, Horton, and Bernard, those are the 3 main guys. But you got to remember, receiver position, I mean, they can rotate a number of guys in there, right? And 2, a lot of guys have different skill sets. And so when I look at M'Baque, I feel like he offers something that's a little bit different than maybe Horton and than Bernard, and I think that will allow him to maybe get some other opportunities, right, on that side of the football. But if you ask me, though, I think he would have been better staying at defensive back. That's just my personal opinion based off of football, right? I mean, nothing else. Only looking at it from a football perspective, I think he would have been better off staying that defensive back. I mean, I know he didn't really play that until he got to college. I mean, I'm sure he played some in high school a little bit, but obviously, I think if you go back and look, he's kind of like that athlete in high school, playing everything, quarterback, whatever they need him to do. But I thought, and the coaches really thought this. I mean, anytime I talked with the people up there, I mean, they were really pleased with his development as a defensive back. Like, they were very impressed with him to the point that they felt that, hell, he really would. I mean, as much as, look, they have a lot of depth, but they really felt like with the path and the trajectory that he was on, I mean, there would have been no way you couldn't play him and in some spot in that defensive backfield. Yeah, then you look at, Devontae Smith left and that Husky position was open. I know you got Deshaun Jones, but I feel like there would have been a way to work him in some way. And because he was impressive even before the season started. I mean, back in training camp, I mean, he was turning heads. Like, even when I was up there, I mean, he flashed. Now, obviously, you would see things that you could tell. I mean, a mistake here and there because number one, he was a freshman too. I mean, it was a newer position to him, but in terms of his upside and his potential, I mean, that was really, it was really evident. So I think it would have been best if he stayed there. But again, I mean, it's his decision. I mean, it's his career. I mean, he's entitled to do whatever he pleases. And he knows himself better than anybody else. But I'm just saying, from my thoughts, from my perspective looking at it, I thought he would have been solid in that defensive back room. And I thought he would have ended up growing into a really, really good player there. But I think he still has a lot of potential on offense at the receiver spot too. So, all right, let's go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Tommy up next. But real quick, Ricky says essentially what he was recruited for. Yeah, I mean, they recruited him to play DB. And what else we got in here real quick before we go to the phone lines? Ephraim says wide receivers make more money. And he's probably about money. Look, from a college perspective, I mean, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, if you're a big playmaker at the receiver spot. I mean, in the NFL, though, yeah, they probably do make a little bit more too. True. I mean, but top cornerbacks, I mean, they don't. I mean, look at what Sauce Gardner just got paid. I mean, them boys make money too. But you're right. I mean, top receivers probably a little bit more. I'd have to pull it up, but you're right. Receivers probably a little bit more. Let's go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Tommy. Tommy, welcome in.
Hey, Tristan, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you, Tommy?
Can't complain. Can't complain. Stay in this air condition. I have become an old West. I can't take the heat no more. I'm sorry. I just can't hang no more. So I'm just sitting in the house and minding, talking to y'all. The NCAA really going to have to do something. Having these kids and ball play. These kids are getting bad advice, I believe. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, you now can hold out right before fall practice and get more money. No, a lot of these schools say, well, you know what? You signed with us. Guess what? You can't go nowhere. Sit out. And you know what? When this kid sit out and do whatever he want to do, and well, I'm going to go this school, well, he's going to put his name in the portal. And who are you going to call? The second kid, you're going to call Tennessee. Well, how is this kid? He's all by himself. There'll be certain schools who desperately will take him. But the general college football world, you'll say, hey, pal, you made your bed, you're going to have to sleep in it. He might get left out completely, or he'll have to go to a small school and get nothing to make up his name back, his reputation with playing your football. So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, you hate to see. I mean, you got parents, you got in-laws, you got relatives, you got agents. They don't, I mean, the agents really don't care. Well, you make them money, they happy. when you stop making them money, they're going to drop you like a hot potato.
It can happen. I mean, a lot of situations are like that, man. If you have a good agent, that's a good dude, man. I mean, and y'all have a nice personal relationship, man. Normally, they can be your, friend, and you have a great relationship for a lifetime, But you're right. A lot of situations, a lot of guys, they're just on to the next big thing, next big, cash cow for them. But like, for example, like my agent, man, really nice dude, good dude, and even though I'm not actively playing, I can reach out to him, talk to him. If obviously I do broadcasting stuff. They do stuff with me on that if I need to. But they're just good people. But that's why it's really important that you really do your homework and your research on who you're working with. But no, you're right, Tom. I mean, I hate to assume things, but you look at the situation. I mean, you stop showing up right before training camp. I mean, it does really kind of reek of maybe a guy trying to, you know what I mean, prove a point, manipulate them into paying some more. Again, I hate assuming things because I would feel awful if it ended up being a personal thing. You know what I mean? So I want to be clear. I mean, if it's that, it's that. And that's one thing. But from what I read, it doesn't sound like that. And
you're right there. You don't want to.
Yeah, like I don't want to assume, but and that's what I'm saying. If it's personal, look, they take all the time you need, man. Just need to communicate that. But if it's from a standpoint that you're trying to hold out and trying to force, their hand, and because you're not satisfied with what you're getting or whatever the case may be, that to me, man, like you see it in the NFL. That's one thing. You're talking about contracts with these owners and people that are stubborn. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Jerry Jones thing, but like, I mean. Well, let's just be fair, man. In the NFL, it's a little bit different when you got a guy like Micah Parsons who's proven what he can do. He's one of the top edge rushers at a very young age. I mean, he's literally, everything you would want out of a player, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure he probably has some faults, but what I'm getting at is then you see how they act like they're trying not to pay those guys, and they've really proven and done plenty to receive that and to deserve it. In college, just like, look, man. Like, let's not forget, like, that's the NFL where it's a true business. I know college football and college athletics is a business, but it also is, a university where you're getting a degree, man. It's a little bit different. I hate that we're to the point where, like, we're potentially seeing guys taking that approach, this whole opting out, holding out thing, because to me, it's just like we're already at a point where college football doesn't really feel like college football anymore. It's much more like a business. And now with this, I'm kind of done. I'm just kind of done with all of it, man. That's why I have respect for the guys that do it the right way. Guys that, humble, work hard. You don't have to hear or deal with nothing. Like I just mentioned the two guys, like Ty, who's supposed to come on the show today, right? I mean, just natural, down to earth dude. It's like, yeah, man, I'll hop on. It's obviously, weren't able to get it cleared with the media side of things, but I mean, you never would even expect a guy like that. I mean, those dudes are great leaders. Him and Bray show up, do everything they're supposed to do. They stay working, waited their turns, and now you see them benefit from it, man. And that's why those kind of guys, man, you got to tip your hat to them, especially in today's day and age.
Well, see, we have forgot the most important thing about college athletes. It's about getting a degree. They think since they're 18, 21, I'm going to be making this money forever. No, I got some bad news. In professional sport, you know it more than I do. After you hit about 25 and 27, you get ready to go on the downslide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only like a 3 or 4 year top in the NFL.
Yeah, on average. Now, granted, luckily, with when you have a lot of talent like we do, we definitely outperform the talent, or just not the talent, the average. But you're right. No, on average, 3-year career. They call the NFL not for long for a reason. And even guys that do play, a number of years, man, if you don't handle it right, I always tell people, man, like, I don't think a lot of guys understand this. Like, there's a big difference when you got this window where, I mean, weekly, you're getting checks for thousands and thousands, some guys millions of dollars each week. And then when you retire, even if you made all that money, I know people just go, oh, well, he's good. He played. Dude, if you don't manage that and you don't understand that once that window's done, like, you're not getting that like anymore. You know what I mean? They catch these guys by surprise when they come to a shock. They're like, oh, damn, I'm not getting that every weekend.
You made a good point. You made a good point about with your agent. you still had a good relationship. If you don't burn bridges, like the Tennessee quarterback did, goes and look like this young man is going to burn bridges too. You burn bridges. It's hard to build a bridges back. It takes a lot of work. And you have a good agent, he's going to help you for your lifetime. I mean, and the university needs to teach them. It's easy to make a buck, but it's hard to hang on to that buck. I mean, everybody says, well, I'm doing this and this. And, well, one day you're going to get old, and you need to have savings. You need to have investment. You need to have a plan for the golden years. I mean, but nobody sees it. It's today. I hate to say that. A lot of young men get thrown to the curb. So I hate that. So,
that's true. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on this because it's if it's another situation like the Nico thing, man, sucks to be them. But hopefully, I don't know. Maybe it'll help kind of create some type of rule that we can come up with to stop this from happening. Because if it happened twice at Tennessee, man, it could happen anywhere else.
Sure, and it's going college football and college athletic. I mean, if he gets what he wants and he comes back to the team and the coaches say, "Oh, all is well," I'm the offensive lineman. I'm the defensive lineman. I'm going to look at him like, yeah, I'm busting my you-know-what for 4 weeks while you sitting there whining and moaning about you not being treated right. The team chemistry, like we've been talking the last 3 days, to win a national championship or a Super Bowl, you got to have that it factor. Team chemistry, team oneness. You're not going to have it with a bunch of I mean,
true. That's true. It's not. It's terrible for the culture, man. Terrible for the culture. Yeah. You don't want that. Tommy, we appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Roll Tide.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide. Good deal. Top of the hour break. We come back. We keep on rolling. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
Another day, another walk-off for Freddie Freeman.
The rider deals. Freddie, left field. It is not caught by Bader. Bitts scores. Ohtani behind him, and the Dodgers walk it off.
AM 570 LA Sports Dodgers Radio Network. The final score against the Twins was 4-3. Shohei Ohtani homered for the 5th consecutive game, tying a Dodgers franchise record. Aaron Judge hit his 37th homer of this season, but the Blue Jays outscored the Yankees 8-4. They now have a 4-game lead on New York in the AL East. Bryce Harper hit his 350th career home run, but the Phillies lost to the Red Sox 9-8 in 11 innings. The White Sox topped the Rays 11-9, and the Rangers edged the A's 2-1. In the WNBA, Fever star Caitlin Clark, who's been dealing with a right groin injury, has been ruled out for Thursday's game against the Las Vegas Aces.
Local small businesses make up a major portion of the economy, and places like our restaurant really define the personality of a city or neighborhood.
Small businesses are the heart and soul of a community.
Without them, we wouldn't have survived.
Hi, I'm Congressman Barry Moore. Make sure to support your local small businesses because they are the core to our communities.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This special alert is for all Americans who own a vehicle. If you have a warranty that's about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, this message is for you. It's time to stop worrying about future car repairs today. Your vehicle is essential, but unexpected breakdowns can derail your plans and your wallet. It's time to future-proof your ride with CarShield. CarShield offers a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that saves drivers thousands from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine if your engine quits or your transmission fails. You could pay a fraction of the repair cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, and to give you even more peace of mind, drivers who activate today also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Don't wait for a breakdown to drain your savings. Future-proof your car with CarShield today and drive with confidence. Call CarShield for your free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. That's 800-923.
Folks, just get used to it. Money's going to be a major factor in players coming and staying in a college institution. Colleges and collectives will have to adjust. My honest opinion is going the other way. Yeah, well, I think, Arthur, man, you're 100% right. I feel like we kind of gotten to a point where we already had to adjust. It's just, if guys are going to do take these measures where they're sitting out or whatever the case may be, I don't know. To me, I'm not gonna lie, it's too much, man. It's just too much. I mean, and that's coming from me. I mean, I'm a former player. You guys know. I mean, I'm gonna defend the guys. Like I've always said, no. I mean, athletes deserve to be compensated in some capacity, whether it's a minimal thing. I mean, just in some way. And I've always explained, I mean, the schedule that we had that they have, I mean, it doesn't permit you to work. I mean, you can't really do much. And I know people think yeah, just because you get the dining hall and the clothes, so that's great, but you still need money for stuff outside of that, like phone bill, to have a vehicle to get around. And I've always just felt I mean, name, image, and likeness is the most obvious thing. Just let guys capitalize off that. Especially since the universities or the schools are making all that money from TV revenue and all that stuff. But then when it kind of turned into all this, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you,
Alabama Department.
I started kind of getting to a point where I'm like, man, at what point, what's the limit, right? You know what I mean? I feel it's just, I mean, because I feel the practices that you see in college athletics are way beyond what you see in the NFL. Which makes no sense to me, where that is a legit, straight, just business. You're a employee, right? Those guys can't just magically just
SME code piping and vessels.
I mean, I guess you can hold out and do stuff like that, but it's just different. I don't know, man. Just kind of gets old. I don't know. It gets old after a while. It just gets old.
Tuscaloosa weather. A hot summer afternoon, a few spots getting a shower or storm through the evening hours. The high today 93, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow, morning sunshine. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 92. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 88 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Support Experts. All right, we're talking a little bit about that whole situation at Tennessee, whatever that young man is doing. But in terms of how that can affect a team and culture and stuff like that, Chase, I don't know if you saw this, but this is related to another former Bama guy. Tua was speaking to the media. And they were asking him about the Tyreek Hill situation, because I don't know if you guys remember, but Tyreek Hill tweeted or just said something, said, I'm out. And Tua had a very, number one, was very justified, but two, very, I thought was a solid response to that whole deal. And it was interesting because it sounded like he caught a little bit of flack from, I don't know who exactly was complaining about it, but he was just saying, look, you don't just come back immediately from one of your top players making a comment like that. You got to earn the trust of your teammates and everybody in the building again. I mean, because I mean, it's kind of like a stab in the back. The guy just goes out and says, "Oh, I'm out, man. I'm cool on it." But let's go ahead and listen to this. This is what Tua had to say. This was a response to that whole situation with Tyreek Hill, and I thought it was a very, very mature response and great response from one of their leaders. And this is what Tua had to say.
I would say we're still continuing to do that, but it's not just with me. It's with a lot of the guys. I'm not the only one that heard that. You guys aren't the only people that heard that. You know, a lot of people follow football, that follow the Miami Dolphins, that follow Tyreek, that are fans of his. Everyone has seen that. So when you say something like that, you don't just come back from that with, "Hey, my bad." You got to work that relationship up. You got to build everything up again, and yeah, it's still a work in progress. Not just for me, but for everybody. But like I said, he's working on himself. He's working on the things that he says he wants to get better with and do better on. So that's the first step to me, and so I commend him for doing that.
I thought it was a great response. Chase, what do you think about that? I mean, I don't know why. I don't even know who really was complaining, but allegedly some people maybe thought there's a problem with him. Maybe they felt he kind of was calling them out in media or something. I don't know. But to me, I thought, look, I mean, he handled it the right way. He said, look, yeah, you can't just make comments like that and just think everything's like, oh, yeah, no, my bad, bro. Like that, the trust between teammates and, players and individuals. I mean, that's one of the most important things for a football team. And clearly, Tua knows that, and he knows it takes a little bit more than just a my bad. Do you think Tua was out of line for, addressing it like that in front of the media, Chase, or you thought that was very well said? That's at least what I thought.
That was very much said to the point where I don't think how you could have gone a different way. You have to set a standard, especially the starting quarterback for an organization like the Miami Dolphins. You have to set an example, because if you're allowing Tyreek to do this, you're kind of showing that other teammates can do to you, and you're just like, okay, I'm just more about the team. But no, like relationships, like you said, matter. They're more beyond football, and you have to stand for something. And I think with Tyreek and what's going on in his life, man, I hope it doesn't turn into like an AB situation. It just seems like he can't stay out of the media. Ever since he left Kansas City, I feel like his identity has changed. I feel like, I know football is still the main thing for him because he wouldn't be playing, but it just seems like that motivation, or that just like, I'm all about football, is not there anymore. And you're seeing it with his relationships. You're seeing him in the news when he got pulled over last season. You're seeing it with he's being on with Twitch streamers almost every month. It just seems like he's being more of a problem for the Dolphins. And I don't know how much longer the Dolphins can deal with that, especially with how much upside and how much talent they have on the offense and defensive side of the ball. But Tua did great. I would have responded the same way. It's awkward because, that's your top receiver. You're supposed to have a really good relationship with your top receiver because, that's how you score. But I don't know, Christian. It's just Tyreek, man, he's kind of going down a downward slope. I pray that he changes around and he can really ball out this season. But his window for grace is kind of slowing down a little bit because of how he's been moving as of late.
Yeah, well, I mean, what was the first comment? Was there one initially he was like, but see, this is a trend you see with him, right? He's kind of, I hate to say it like this, he strikes me as a little immature. He signs with Miami, and one of the first things he says is he doesn't have Pat Mahomes in his top list of quarterbacks or something like that. It's almost like throwing shade. Now he's in Miami, started off really hot. I mean, everybody, the connection between those two and so forth. But then I guess, as of recent, might not have been, as strong as it might have once been, whatever the case may be. But maybe he's not as, I don't know. But now he, comments like, oh, I'm out, whatever, this, that, and the third. Yeah, I don't know. You're right, though. I feel like their patience probably is starting to get a little thin, but there's no denying that dude is arguably the best receiver. I mean, in terms of his athleticism, quickness, speed, the way he stops on a dime, cuts on a dime, gets it and out of breaks, makes DBs look silly. I mean, the dude is that dude, but never a good situation when you've got your quarterback and your top receiver on different pages like that. Not ideal. Granted, too, it doesn't seem like he's like, oh, I got beef with the guy, but it's like, no, they've got to work that relationship back up, not only with him, but with everybody else too, and rightfully so. Like, if somebody on our team, well, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because we've got new listeners, and it's a pretty interesting story, to say the least. The guys I played with wouldn't put up with stuff like that, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up a story too. Speaking of, the guys I played with and kind of how things were when I was there. Marlon had a really good story about one time that he wasn't practicing up to the standard, and obviously our guys weren't going for that. But the story that I'm about to tell is so we were playing in a bowl game, and I'm not even going to say the year because they look, Carson's like a detective. Carson put everything together. We were playing in a bowl game, and let's just say there's one point in the game I think we were down at this point in the game, and there's a dude on one of our teammates. He's on the sideline. I don't know if he was like salty because he wasn't playing much. I don't know what his deal was, but he just was like on the sideline. He just kept making comments like, I can't wait till this junk is over. And not in a sense like, man, I just can't wait till we beat up on these dudes. But it was more like man, because we were down at this point when he made that comment, it was kind of like, man, I just want to be done with this. I don't even I'm ready to just be out of here. Kind of not necessarily what Tyreek said, but you get what I'm saying, right, Chase? I mean, it's along the lines of something kind of like going against the team. And so one of our other teammates, he heard him make a comment, and he told him one time, he's like, bro, don't say stuff like that. And so, I mean, a little bit of time went on. Dude still pouting on the sideline, making comments. And so other dude said, bet, I done told you stop talking like that, but I'm going to handle it. And I kid you not, after the game, it was handled. And it was handled in a much different way than Tua just saying like, oh, yeah, we got to rebuild trust, man. They're probably rebuilding some facial features and some stuff in that locker room after he handled it the way he handled it. So that, I think the moral of the story is, number one, we played with some damn dogs, but two, what Tua said, man, I think is very mature, and there's nothing wrong with what he said. I don't know why anybody would have a problem. That's not calling anybody out. There's no problem with nothing, but him just saying, look, man, we got to rebuild that. But we got to hit a timeout. We come back. Speaking of Alabama quarterbacks, former Alabama quarterbacks, we're talking a bunch about Jalen Hurts. Well, they kicked off training camp. A lot of people really impressed with his leadership. They asked him about the championship ring. I want to talk about that, man. Jalen being Jalen, stoic as ever. And we'll talk about that. Plus, a couple other things that he mentioned during his press conference. And we'll probably end up having to circle back to Mr. Cam Newton. He had his response video come out. And there's a couple things I want to point out from his video. So we got that coming up right here. We're open on the phone lines if you guys want to get in on it. 205-342-9904 is the number. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. They never show the questions being asked by the reporters, always just the answers. Viewers have to create the context. Yeah, I mean, they might have had a video with that original question. I mean, biggest thing was, I just know some people were like making it seem like he threw dude under the bus or something, like, or was like making it worse or something. Like, nah, man, like that's what a quarterback should do. I mean, your top receiver making a comment like that, like, nah, man, it's got to be addressed. I'm not saying everything has to be publicly addressed, but if they ask you a question, I mean, like, yeah, you could just take the road of, oh, we're going to handle it internally or whatever. But nah, but nothing he said was bad. I thought it was a great sign of leadership. Talk about Alabama breeding leaders, man. Jalen is funny, man. It's like everything is so poetic, so stoic. It's like, dang, you don't want to put your ring on? We're on to the next one. Education, money, and putting themselves in the best position to get to the league are all priorities that's going to be unique for every player. Yeah, 100%. I mean, everything's going to be different for guys. And look, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I mean, it's even with the mindset that I had, the mentality that I have, right? I mean, you guys, I mean, look, I waited my turn. I knew I was going to wait my turn before I even came here. And I wasn't like some like low-rated guy. We pulled it up. I forgot about this. I mean, hell, I was top player in my state. number 2 outside linebacker. I was number 1 outside linebacker on ESPN. But even then, I mean, like, I was mature enough to know, like, I'm gonna have to wait my turn. I'm cool with that. Even with that being said, if I was in this day and age with the opportunities to make money and stuff, like, that definitely would be a part of the consideration. I mean, look, anybody that says otherwise is a liar. Because at the same time, like, you do want to make sure you're getting what you feel like is a good value for what you deserve. I just think the problem is people have that as the main focus, the main priority. That's a problem. I don't think there's a problem with at least having some type of priority there. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because look, the reality is, I mean, football don't last forever. And if there's a situation where you can make lucrative money or something crazy like that, and you know, like, hey, but they still can put me in a position to accomplish my goals and aspirations, why would you not consider something like that, knowing that you're going to manage it the right way to set yourself up later on? To me, I don't think that's a problem, because I know that's how I would think. Like, if I got offered to pay, like, you know, if I got offered like $2 million to go play somewhere while I was young like that, I don't spend money. So to me, like, I definitely would consider that, because I would weigh it like this. Okay, I could go to set school, make X amount of money. You know, I put that money away. I mean, that's a big, you know, head start in life, knowing that you manage that the right way. Shoot, even by the time from a freshman to a senior, I mean, that money should already, you know, appreciate. Shoot, and I know they say the average is 10%. Let's shoot it low. Let's say by the time you leave college, I mean, it should be at least another 20, 25, at least. You know what I mean? Like, I would take that perspective and just think about how I can set myself up, knowing that $2 million when I was playing, the rookie minimum back then was like around $400K. So that would be as if, like, say you were a mid-round guy, signing bonus being like, oh, dang, hold on, I think we got to come back. Yes, I played with Cam. And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. On the topic of former Alabama quarterbacks, we'll keep on rolling with this. You got another former Alabama quarterback. I mean, Mr. What's the stoic guy? I forgot his name. Marcus Aurelius. Anyway, Jalen, man. This dude, I swear, he knows what he's doing, by the way. And I can say this because my guy. He knows what he's doing when he drops these quotes. And trust me, he's like that in person for sure. But he knows that people love it. They eat it up when he drops these, like, words of wisdom and nuggets. Like, he's smart. He's smart. But anyway, of course, man, what do you expect? He's talking to training camp and he's just dropping nuggets left and right. But this one stood out to me because we've been talking about him, the whole debate about top 10 quarterback, this or that. But this response, man, we've been talking a little bit about culture, buy-in, and all that stuff. And listen to this from Jalen. And if you got a kid or you got a youth team or something, like, this is a mentality that you want your guys to have. This was Jalen Hurts on if he'll open up his play style more now that he's won a Super Bowl. Meaning, like, all right, he's got a Super Bowl win now. Is he going to look to be a little bit more aggressive? He's going to try to open things up, do things a little bit more, I don't know, take matters a little bit more in his hand because he has a little bit more confidence maybe. Now he feels, oh, he's got the big one. He can really, do a little bit more now, right? That's what they asked him. This was his response. No. I went a very long time being told I've got to do it a certain type of way. That didn't get me the win. When I did it how everyone told me to. When you put so much energy into personal performance, you kind of lose sight of the main thing of winning. Since the loss in 2022, it's been my main motivation to find ways to win. Regardless of how it looks, I just want to find ways to win, and that's the mentality that I want this team to have. I'm telling you right now, Chase, when your leader, your top guy, your quarterback has that mindset, and it's dispersed amongst the rest of the guys on the team, that's a recipe for success, man. Because he's the Coach Saban is, probably the one to attribute that to, right? Because that was our whole thing. I talk about it all the time. Dominate your box. Don't worry about the scoreboard, all that, like that's all those principles and values from Coach Saban, they ring true. And that's a true recipe for success because you got everybody working towards one common goal, not trying to focus on stats. Like when I was with Carolina, like I'm just going to be straight up with you guys, man. Like we had a lot of dudes that were stat driven. I'm not talking about Cam or some of the other guys, but I'm saying like on the defense that I played on. We had some of the, like the vets, man. And to be fair, we got to a point where in the season where we knew we weren't making the playoffs. I do understand they're trying to hit their bonuses. Like at that point, yeah, you might as well try to make a little bit more cheddar. But still, it just was a lot different than what I was used to. And I don't know, man. I just know when you have a guy that thinks like this, that says like, yeah, we're over here having these debates over his stats and numbers and stuff, and he's flat out saying I could care less about that because ultimately the purpose of playing this game is to win football games. Now we know on a personal standpoint, from a personal standpoint, everybody wants to have as good as a game as possible, right? Because that also does affect the team in a very positive way. We know that. But when that's your main priority and your main focus, you're losing sight, just like Jalen said, of the main true goal of everyone. And that's to win, right? What good is it to go throw for 5 touchdowns and 450 yards if you lose, right? It boosts your ego. It helps you out in terms of, end of season accolades, which is great if that's what you're choosing to focus on. But what's the whole purpose of everything else you're doing with everybody around you? It's to win football games. And the fact that he understands that, not only understands that, but he's trying to preach that to the rest of his people, that's exactly why you see this Eagles team as successful as they've been the last couple of years. That mentality right there by this guy. And when we talk about culture, man, I mean, like, it doesn't get better than that. Because you got a guy here that's saying, like, I don't care if Cam Newton, these people aren't impressed with me throwing less than 3,000 yards. I don't care about making the All-Pro. I don't care about this. I just want to win. And I get it. I get it because at Alabama, I mean, look, I had to buy into that type of mentality. And I was cool with it because I'll tell you why. I mean, I got 2 big reasons why and a lot of other reasons why. When you get these, like, there's no better feeling than when you get this. Now, I know this dude literally just got him the Super Bowl ring and he literally said, oh, we're on to the next one. But that ceremony, when you, like, they unveil these national championship rings, man, or Super Bowl rings, there's no greater feeling because it's literally like what you're working for. Like, yeah, it's cool and you feel very accomplished and proud of yourself to be named to, all pro or all SEC, things like that. It definitely feels good. But winning championships trumps all that, man, because that's like physical hardware. I guess you got like an MVP or like a Heisman. That's physical hardware. You can't take away from that. Probably does feel pretty damn good too. Now, I know Cam's been asked about that. Cam said, he'd rather, if he had to pick one, and that's fine. I mean, people have different opinions on that. I get that. But when you have a quarterback and leader of your team with this mindset, man, it's just, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. But you could just tell, I mean, you see, like, every time Jalen talks, I mean, it's like Coach Saban is just like he is just coming out of him, man. It literally is. It's not even funny how similar they are. Like, Jalen just takes so much from Coach Saban. It's not even funny. Not saying he's taking it from him. You get what I'm saying though. Like he's been influenced by him, just like we all have. I mean, you guys hear I talk at the time. Like, my dad makes fun of me. He says I'm like a Saban disciple, just because, like, when we're talking about football and breaking things down, like, naturally those things just come out. But that's because what we've always they've preached that to us the whole time. Like, it's been instilled in us, like those types of mindsets. But definitely was interesting that coming out right around the time we've been talking about this whole debate, because when you hear his perspective on that, it makes you think, well, to be fair, I mean, when he's thinking like that, of course his stats and stuff aren't going to be whatever, right? Because he literally is flat out telling you he doesn't care about that. He's not looking to do that. Like, he's looking to win football games. Like, that's the type of mentality meaning, like, anytime we're in the red zone, man, like, if the call is to, give it to running back, whatever, cool. Let them score, right? A lot of receivers have to, if you can get your receivers to think like this, man, you're really winning. Because a lot of receivers, man, it's tough for them. They want the ball. If you get your receivers to have that type of mentality, you're in good shape. But I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I thought it was just a really good lesson, whether it's you got kids that play, you coach, whatever, or even it's in anything, like even if it's in your work life, man. Just feel like that type of mindset. The goal is winning, not individual performances. But don't be confused. Now, strong individual performance, and Coach Saban did say this. Now, this is from him too. Strong individual performance does help the team out tremendously. So you need to play your best. Don't get it twisted. But it can't be the only thing you're chasing, because then you lose sight of things. I mentioned me having to adopt that mentality is no different. Like at Alabama, like the way you hear my dad talk about it, the way we played defense, it wasn't necessarily set up. I know Will had 17.5 sacks, but that goes to show just really how effective he was and how dominant he was that year, because the way he was playing and where he was rushing from was not set up to be a big sack guy, right? Like the way we played, I mean, our alignments alone weren't the best for, at least compared to some of these other guys, right? Like an outside linebacker, long story short, to get into some football talk, an outside linebacker that has the ability to flex out and rush from a true like wide 9 technique is in much better shape to really, really, really get after the quarterback in terms of angles and just being in a better position than somebody like us, who we were having to rush from like tight 5s or true 6 techniques, right? You got a tight end that's probably chipping you. You don't have that same angle. Tackles can, much easier get their hands on you. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot different. But that's why you just got to be bought into it and say, like, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried that I'm probably not going to have as many sacks in this system, because it's also, I know it's going to propel me and make me a much more complete outside linebacker and allow me the opportunity to compete with my teammates for championships year in and year out. Right? It's those type of sacrifices that really make teams great. But just thought that was interesting. We got another timeout. When we come back, we'll I guess we'll segue into the response from Cam, since we're talking about Jalen. And we'll hear a couple of things that Cam had to say in his big response video, because it was definitely very entertaining. Ricky sent it on over to us. I watched it immediately yesterday, and it was some good stuff, man. Cam made some points in his response. Some other things I still was like, still can't really agree with that, brother. But we'll definitely dive into that when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
This is Brian Finnison, owner of the venue Tuscaloosa across from Sokol Park. First, I want to thank all of our thousands of loyal customers that have supported us.
Jalen's talent, leadership, and poise will have him top 3. Yeah, I think that's kind of like when we heard my dad kind of talk about all those qualities. Same kind of deal, man. Definitely understand that, right? Just what he brings from just like a overall perspective. Wait, they changed the thumbnail. I was like, wait, where did this video go? Let me pull this up. Wait, Shannon and Ocha reacted to him, calling him out. All right, cool. I got that pulled up. I think if you put Jalen on any other NFL team, he either makes him better or keeps him as a contender. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. You know that man from playing with them. People are upset with Cam's personality, but I really don't think he's had any malicious intent in his comments. Yeah, no, Ricky, no, and I tell people that all the time because, like, it's funny when people find out you played at Alabama. The first thing, how's it playing for Coach Saban? I mean, that's the immediate follow-up question that you get. Oh no, Julian, I'm sorry. I'll definitely be praying for you. I'm so sorry. I hate to hear that, man. Hate to hear that. But yeah, when people find out that you play at that Alabama, the first thing people ask is, "Oh, how's Coach Saban?" When people
cutting, pipe fitting,
the Panthers, and they find out I play with Cam, that's the first thing. Oh, what is Cam like? Because Cam's just such a big figure when it comes to Cam Newton and the media,
9611,
his football career. But I'm telling you, as a teammate, man,
5'2",
he's nothing like what people describe him or paint him to be, like at all, man. He's literally one of the best teammates I've had. Like, I'm not even kidding. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We just were talking about Jalen Hurts' comments at the podium. Really, really impressive stuff from him about, leadership, talking about, I'm not worried about doing anything different, doing it how people want me to do it. I'm doing it the way that I know wins football games. And I'm going to urge my teammates to do the same thing, to have that same mentality, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it. If you're a coach or any coaches out there, man, take that quote and go show it with all your football teams, and then whatever you got to do, man. Because that was some really good stuff. Speaking of Jalen, the whole debate, we got to circle back to it. Sorry, guys, got to do it. Cam dropped his response, and I got that pulled up. We'll hear from that in a second. But I will say this other thing from Jalen that was kind of funny, and I could probably find it real quick. Where they asked him about his Super Bowl ring, and if he was going to put it on. And it was very short, but Jalen was just like, I'm on to the next one. Basically saying, like, look, man, like, that was last year. And which is another thing from Coach Saban. Literally, the same thing. Coach Saban, I mean, literally, we win a national championship. And, I mean, within like a week, Coach Saban was back in the building, recruiting, working on game plans for the next stuff. Like, I mean, like, you can't make this stuff. So this is literally Jalen's response here. They asked him about not wearing a Super Bowl ring. He said, I've moved on. I move on to the new year. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, you got to respect it, man. You got to respect it. He's focused on the next thing. Always chasing the next one, man. The next one's the best one. So, shout out to Jalen with that response. But let's see what you guys have to say before we go to this Cam video real quick. Arthur says his talent, leadership, and poise is why he has him in his top 3. Got to respect it, man. Overall, man, as a player, person, I mean, Jalen's everything that he embodies everything that you want from that position as a player on your team. Mike says, I think if you put Jalen on any NFL team, he either makes him better or at least keeps him as a contender. Got to agree, man. I mean, he's just a heck of a football player that he's going to find. He said he's going to find ways to win football games for you, man. It's as simple as that. Might not be flashy, might not be what everybody wants you to do or wants to see from you, but he's going to put them in position to win. Ricky says, you know that man from playing with him, talking about Cam. People are upset with Cam's personality, but I really don't think he had any malicious intent in his comments. No, and like I just was saying before we came back, I kid you not. Like, I tell people all the time, Cam was literally one of my favorite teammates I've played with, and one of the best teammates I've played with. He was one of the most hardworking guys I've ever played with. He had great leadership skills. He was very personable with everybody, right? Like, I mean, like, he came up with nicknames for everybody on the team. Didn't matter if you're undrafted, whatever. I mean, he tried to come up with nicknames for literally everybody, right? Always was doing extra work in the building. I mean, like, the rep he gets, man, it's unfortunate because I get it. People see, him go to these podiums and while he's playing, what he's doing now. And the first thing that, look, I get it. The first thing you see is, how expressive he is with, how he dresses and he presents himself, right? I mean, that's all on him, right? But they see that and they think he looks ridiculous. They think he's just doing it for attention. But I mean, that's just really what he likes to do and like how he likes to express himself. I mean, that's who he is, right? But and I think sometimes, he might have had moments in the media where he might not have handled things the best. I'm thinking like after the Super Bowl, stuff like that. People want to judge him for that. But in terms of who he was consistently, man, that dude is one of the hardest working dudes, one of the best teammates, supportive guys, great leader that you can ask. I even asked Damian. I was talking to Damian a month or so ago, and I asked him, because he played with Cam in New England, and I asked him, I was like, was Cam like this with y'all too? Because I'm like, I know, you had Belichick, right? I know when I was with Cam and we had Matt Rule and Ron Rivera, two totally different guys, especially different from Bill Belichick. And I was just really curious. I'm like, how did Belichick kind of, view Cam? Like, how did the whole thing work out? Because Belichick to me is like just like Nick Saban, right? They're like two peas in the pod. They're identical. And I could just imagine, I'll be honest with you, if Coach Saban had Cam, I even though Cam had all those qualities I just named, I don't know if Coach Saban would be cool with how he expressed himself in some of those ways. That's why I asked Damian. And Damian ironically said, like, nah, Belichick loved Cam. And he said the same stuff about Cam. Like, nah, he worked hard. He did this, that. Like, bro, great dude. That being said, I mean, I think anybody asked, like Ricky said, all of his teammates feel the same way. Everyone, even Greg Olson talked about it. Yeah, I think he was on that podcast, like busting the boys. Luke Kuechly. I mean, like, dude, it doesn't matter who you ask, bro. Like, everybody's going, like, and that to me should be a testament enough about like his true character, bro. The way your teammates feel about you is really a true testament of like your character. That's why to me, like being voted team captain here was so, honorable for me, and like it meant so much to me. And I'll never take that for granted, because like that wasn't something like, oh, the coaches picked that because you're a leader. Yeah, that was voted by our peers. And so that is like, to me, one of the greatest honors you can have, being voted team captain at a place like Alabama, surrounded by all the talented guys we have, all the guys in that room, because that means that's how they view you, man. They think very highly of you. But it's no different with Cam. Teammates, they speak highly of him for a reason. But yeah, man, he's definitely, I will label him as kind of like misunderstood. Now, obviously, some of the stuff I would say he might kind of put on himself at times, but I feel like Cam is a little bit of a misunderstood guy. But let's jump into this video, because this was his response. He dropped this right after we got done talking about it. And this came out yesterday. And this is his facts, I guess, to why he wouldn't have Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback.
Everybody got something to say about your top 10 list. And I'm saying it's everybody. We got Stephen A. He says he doesn't agree with you.
No.
No.
Play the clip.
Here we go.
Well, Cam's wrong.
Okay,
I do
go
think
to the
that
next
Jalen
clip.
Hurts
That's all I wanted to hear.
Cam's wrong.
That's all I wanted to hear.
All right, and then we got your boy Ryan Clark.
We have to stop allowing people to have excuses to disrespect Jalen Hurts. Cam recently said I was playing things safe, so let me cook for a second here, right? So there's different ways to look at it. Historically and presently, Jalen Hurts is the top 10 quarterback, and you're going to look at it different ways. You're going to look at talents above X's and O's, the ability to help your team win, and then to me, it's proximity to the GOAT. Let's take Cam Newton, right? What made Cam Newton great?
Okay. He could be powerful. Right there. And go to the next one.
Dan Orlovsky.
Jalen Hurts is the quarterback you got to go through in the NFC to win the Super Bowl. You have to go through.
As we keep going, we even got comments. All right.
What's your comment say?
From Terrell Owens. It said, you would be judging him if he had all of that and wasn't playing well. This is a Skip Bayless type of statement with dreads. Don't be mad at Jalen because he's making great decisions. Maybe had you made the decision to jump on the ball.
Pause right there. Go to the next clip.
And last but not least, even yourself, a statement that you made about Jalen Hurts on this very show, 4th and 1. Does this season or Super Bowl put Jalen Hurts in the elite QB group?
I think so. Press pause right there. This message goes to Jalen Hurts. I mean no evil intent. I have no hate, no quarrel, no nothing in regards to you, the person, or you, the NFL quarterback. I put that on everything that I love. But the point that I'm about to make here, for the point to be made, I have to unlock Petty Cam.
Sometimes okay, so he's about to fire back at all the people that took shots at him. But to be fair, I mean, like, what he's going to basically say is people were coming at him, the messenger, but not the message. And I do think that is kind of a good lesson, though, because if you think about this, like, at least in the media, at least I understand how it works. I mean, like, for example, my dad, right? We know he dropped some hot takes. And a lot of the time, to be fair, he actually was right on a lot of stuff he says. And some of he's not right. But again, he's just saying what he feels, and he's just very upfront and honest. But what happens is a lot of people take things and they attack you instead of just, debate the message, right? And so he's going to pull out what he calls Petty Cam here for a second. So here we go.
Not Petty Cam. Take the shackles off of Petty Cam.
First and foremost, I can easily say, and out of everything that everybody said, Stephen A. Smith, he understood the assignment. The point that Cam is trying to make here, ladies and gentlemen, is let's make people debate about sports again. Because there's too many homeboys in the industry. There's too many people, the insiders that are moved by relationships and moved by, oh man, I can't talk bad about this person, or I can't critique his game because, man, I know that coach, or I know this particular person. Well, you're not talking about the person. You're not even talking about you guys' relationship. You're more or less talking about their performance. And that's what I will talk about. But
so obviously him and my dad would get along because, I mean, he sounds like my dad, man. My dad's like, look, man, just because I say things, it's not about the person themselves. It's just about me critiquing them. That's my job. But anyway, let's skip ahead a little bit because I want to get to because he really was just going to bash some of these guys that came on him.
Can we tee up just the first 15 seconds of that clip?
Let's take Cam Newton, right? What made Cam Newton great?
Pause right
he
there.
could be powerful.
This is where people are not understanding here. You're attacking the messenger and not attacking the message.
Okay.
So since that we want to attack the messenger, Ryan Clark. Okay, let's pull up your stats. Second team All SEC. We cannot relate.
This is petty right here.
Undrafted in 2002, we cannot relate. Then you have one Pro Bowl in 2011. We cannot relate. So if you want to unlock Petty Cam, and everything that Cam Newton has ever said on this 4th and 1 show has always been backed by merit and logic, but some way, shape, form, people keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, why he didn't do this, or comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and Dan Orlovsky, never mind. But
savage.
But as we keep going and we keep unlocking and keep poking the bear, and y'all want to play this game, I can play this game too. Don't worry
Back
about
over
it.
him.
And if we want to argue, the point of why Cam did not put Jalen Hurts in his top 10, it's just because I've had this conversation with Jalen Hurts face to face. And this is the facts. This is the truth. It's unfortunate that in his current situation, he will not really be able to showcase what he's able to fully do on a consistent basis at the quarterback position because of the skill set that's around him. That's facts. And you talk about Baker Mayfield, all right? Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Did you hear that? Are we talking? See, this is the thing that people have a fascination with. They always judge what they used to know about you, not what you currently are. When people always say, hey, Cam, you're hating on Jalen Hurts. No, I don't need to hate on Jalen Hurts. And the common thing that we always hear of, I've heard in this past week is, Cam, you're just mad that Jalen has what you don't. And Petty Cam keeps creeping back up to the microphone and he can say, should I go down a list of things that I have that Jalen doesn't?
Not only just Jalen, a lot of other people don't have.
But hear this out. And I hate that we're making a discussion point about something that he can't even speak to.
Yeah.
But it's so many people coming to his defense. And I respect that. But talk about the point. Don't talk about the pointer. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig what you're saying.
So that's all it really comes down to. So now you talk about Justin Herbert. Let's talk about Justin Herbert's test.
He was the person I didn't agree with too as well.
Okay, he threw for 3,800 yards, but he also threw for 23 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So what are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? Cam don't know what he's talking about, or Cam hating on Jalen? No, that's not the case. I said it time and time again, and I will double down on it. Jalen Hurts does not need to play elite football for the Eagles to win football games. There's times where he needs to do more, but more times than not, he just needs to do his job and allow the guys around him to make plays.
So when you talk about that, though,
so hold on.
Go ahead.
And before I miss this point, Dan Orlovsky, you do not need to go through Jalen Hurts.
Who do you need to go through?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
I actually forgot my kid's birthday. That's how deep.
Wow. So those are most of his points there. I know we got a caller on the line, so I feel like we heard enough from him. But basically, you heard what he was getting at, though. Number one, I think we heard loud and clear. Don't come at him. don't shoot the messenger, shoot the message, right? If you want to respond, which is that's fair. But basically, he's saying, look, he pointed out Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, looking at their stats. I would argue, I mean, look, Jalen Hurts just shy of 3,000 yards, had like 500-600 yards on the ground. But you look at it, he did miss a few games, right? So say 3 games and he averaged, let's just say 250 yards passing per game. I would argue that's 750 more yards. Even if we put on the shy side of things, that would have put him around 3,500 yards, which is not far off from other guys he named, let alone he also had all those rushing yards. So, again, I get what Cam is trying to say. He's saying from a football playing perspective at the quarterback position, yes, Jalen has more weapons, all that stuff. He's not required. But at the same time, you just got to look at it where, look, it's a quarterback. You're not always I don't think he said it, and he's not faulting Jalen for this. You're not faulting Jalen for having those weapons. He's just saying, I guess he values some of the work of other guys. I guess over that because they have a little bit more of a disadvantage from the lack of weapons. I don't know. Again, I thought it was. I wanted to give him his fair chance to give his response because I thought it was interesting. But there's plenty more there if you guys want to keep watching. But we're going to go to the phone lines. So I want to make sure we got plenty of time for Seth. Seth, welcome in.
Hey, what's going on, Christian?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, in the interest of full disclosure, I'm a Gamecock, and so I hate Cam Newton for a much different reason than a lot of your other listeners maybe. Kept us from winning the only SEC championship we ever had a sniff at. But I just, I know you're into wrestling. Hulk Hogan passed away today. And just to quote that famous man, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And until somebody knocks Jalen Hurts off, somebody beats him in the Super Bowl, somebody else next year does it, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Hey, that's an interesting take there, Seth. That's interesting.
Because how much more is it? How much more is there to it than yards and touchdowns? Think about the amount of leadership that this guy has shown at Alabama, the perseverance he's shown, going to Oklahoma, getting into the league, and at every turn, like, oh, he's a second-round pick. He might not make it. We don't know. Jury's out on Jalen. How many times we hear that? For him to turn around, take a team to a Super Bowl, and then come back and win the Super Bowl. Like, there's a lot more to it than just what happens on the field. And a lot of people all you hear about in the NFL is parity. How many of these quarterbacks have similar opportunities with similar style players? They're not getting the job done. Jalen got the job done.
Yeah. That's all great points, Seth. No, I mean, I think when you look at it, if you're looking at it from that perspective, like literally the whole plate, right? I definitely agree. I mean, there's definitely no denying. Even if you look at it from a stats perspective, to be fair, I mean, you still think it's kind of crazy not even having the top 10. But I think, Seth, what I hear is this reminds me of the whole debate when it comes to top people like, let's say, Jordan and LeBron. Some people argue, oh, well, the individual accolades.
I think I lost you.
You know what I mean? Other people say, oh, well, the championships matter.
Hey, Christian, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I don't know if we can hear you.
Oh, check. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, guys, I appreciate you taking my call.
Technical difficulties right now. Christian, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, awesome. You just kind of went out for a little bit. Can you repeat what you said?
Hey, that's weird. I was talking the whole time. I can hear you guys perfect. Is Seth still there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that. That was weird. I was saying, man, it reminds me of the whole debate, whether it's, the NBA, when you got LeBron, you got, Jordan, and some people lean into the accolades, the personal achievements and accomplishments versus the number of championships, right? I feel like this kind of is a little bit in that realm, but you're 100% right. Jalen is like the whole package when it comes to everything that you just described. There's no denying that. And I think Cam just kind of hung up on just from the perspective of, oh, him specifically, take everything else out of the equation, how he stacks up. But even then, like, to me, like, if I took the skill guys away and I was trying to build a team around a guy, I mean, I would choose Jalen over Baker or who was the other guy? Was it Herbert? Justin Herbert? And
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, I get their numbers are good. I think they're good players. Look, Baker Mayfield had a great year last year. He's playing some really good football. Hell, even Sam Darnold, like, two of my other former teammates, right? They both had really, really good years last year. That doesn't mean I'm just going to say, okay, because they played well last year, had big numbers, I'm going to put them as top quarterbacks over a guy that just won a Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP just because it looks a little bit different and the numbers are slightly different. That to me, I'm not for. It's just like in college football. DBs that win the I'm drawing a blank of the name of the trophy, but whatever. You got people that win these awards, right? That might not have had the same number of interceptions, but you see the impact that they made. They might have had 2 or 3. There might have been a guy in college football that had 5, but he's playing in a different conference. He's doing different stuff. You get what I'm saying? But the impact that you see from said player is much greater, So that's how I view it. So I'm with you. I understand. So I think you're right. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily say he's the top guy because he won the Super Bowl. I get where you're going with that, though. I mean, like he's the guy to beat because he won it last year. But I do put a lot of stock into the qualities that you're describing that he brings because that's necessary as a quarterback. Like, there's no denying. You need to have good leadership. You got to have the mentality that we talked about. If not, you could pass for all those yards if you want, man, but then when it comes down to it, you're still lacking in those key areas, and I think you'll show up at some point, one way or another.
Well, I mean, that's what I like so much about your show is the type of experience that y'all bring. And, I mean, how many quarterbacks have you seen at high school and college level? I remember when I was at South Carolina, we had Savell Newton.
That's my guy, man.
World beater. He was my roommate at the Lou Holtz football camp. Like, awesome guy, great dude. And I remember he threw a football 85 yards and caught it himself. Somebody tapped it up and he caught it himself. He's just this world beater freak athlete. Like, when you reach a certain level, they're all close. And all those the 10 quarterbacks that Cam Newton's talking about, there's a certain level of parity. All these people are freak athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the one who's doing the best job of putting it together consistently?
True.
And that's, because there's so much more than just what happens on the field. How's he taking care of his body? How's he taking care of his, his personal stuff off the field? I mean, there's so much that goes into it that makes them what they are. And they really are CEOs of those teams.
Sure.
And I don't know. I'm biased because I like Jalen Hurt so much, but still,
Yeah, no. I think you bring a lot of facts to it. You make a good point, man. I mean, once you get to that level, there is a lot of, whether you would call it parity, similarity. I mean, the guys are very much, you know what I mean? Like, the level of separation typically is very slim when you get to the top because you're right. I mean, these guys are the best of the best. But I do like he at least mentioned, it's really important about at least showing love to these guys where they are currently, because a lot of people would just write a guy like Baker Mayfield off because, look, to be fair, up to this point, he hadn't really, he hadn't flourished just yet. And then all of a sudden he lands at Tampa Bay and he's finally showing why he was a top pick, but that just goes to show you, man, the NFL is a very interesting thing, man. There's a lot of factors involved. People think it's just on the individuals. They wonder sometimes why guys don't work out, man. The organization, the teammates around them, the situation means a great deal. And if you're in a good spot, man, it definitely can work in your favor and vice versa. That's why I was a little worried about Bryce going to Carolina initially, but I think they've improved and they definitely are trying to help him out as much as they can. So hopefully we see him continue to, trend upward because Carolina, man, it could be a little scary place for a professional career. Just being completely honest.
Hey, I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, thank you, Seth, man. Be easy, brother. Good deal, man. All right, we got to wrap things up. T-Town Sports Daily coming up next. Appreciate everybody, all the contributions per usual. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 22 hours right here, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.